think we are live. Yes, we are. Welcome. Welcome to Tokyo. And welcome to Ikejiri Ohashi station area. We are here in front of Ikejiri Ohashi. And the plan today is to walk along Meguro River for a while. Then we'll see what happens. There's a few options. But it's a really nice late afternoon here. You can see some of the golden sunlight, which is quite nice. And I'm feeling quite good today. Hence this walk. I didn't really expect that I would be genki enough to go on a walk today, since I got my second vaccine shot yesterday. But I'm feeling fine. So I decided to do this. So let's do this. And before we continue, I would like to do a little shout out to Bit of a Wonder, who is this channel's mega sponsor or mega supporter. He helps me out a lot. And a way for me to help him out a lot is to mention him like this. So if you do enjoy walking videos in general, and perhaps from the US in particular, then you should definitely check out this channel. It's linked in the video description. Okay, so yeah, it's really gorgeous light. It's really gorgeous light now. I did not bring a camera. I already kind of regret that. This is my favorite time of day in terms of light. But yeah, my plan is to walk here down Meguro River towards Nakameguro. That's the first step of tonight's walk. Oh, thank you, Vigilant, for the super chat already. Thank you so much. That's very kind of you. It's very kind of you. And oh, of course, I know that you're all tempted to hear more about the weather, not just me saying that the weather is nice, but you want the details, you want all the details. I know that, so that's what I will give you. It is currently 31 degrees. It doesn't feel like 31 degrees. It's not that hot. Humidity 58%. Yeah, it feels quite nice. I guess as long as I can avoid the sun, it's gonna be fine, and it's just gonna get cooler and cooler as the sun sets. So yeah, very nice walking weather right now. It really doesn't feel like 31 degrees though. Maybe my body is already getting used to the Tokyo summer, I don't know. But 51% humidity by Tokyo standards in the summer, that's low. That is low. Oh, already 200 people tune in. Wow. Thank you. Glad to see that so many are joining my streams. How is the Olympics going there? I guess it's going fine. I haven't really stayed much up to date, but I just heard that Japan won gold medal in skateboarding. So that's, I don't know what to feel about that. Maybe a little bit good, because skateboarding is generally not very, like, it's kind of frowned upon here in Japan. So this will probably give that sport a little bit more legitimacy. So I think that's good. Other than that, I don't know. And yes, like Jenny's saying, if you are watching this, please consider leaving a like. That's a great way to help support my channel. Heard that there's an incoming typhoon. Yes, that is true. There's a typhoon approaching Tokyo. It's actually quite windy already. I don't know if that's because of the typhoon or not, but it's a bit windy. we'll see how that goes with the typhoon, if it will affect the Olympics. Those typhoons can be kind of difficult to predict. Sometimes it's like they hype it up a lot for several days before, and we're expecting that it will cause a lot of disruptions in the city, but then they just pass almost very quickly and without causing any major harm. So we'll see how it goes. We have some really nice light here. Again, it's the photographer in me speaking now, but there's some really nice side light here hitting the river. What do you call it? The river walls. Very nice. Oh yeah, is Virtual Japan also live now? I didn't know. Is he around here? It would be fun if we bumped into each other. Looks like a nice place. Yeah, so we're walking along the Meguro River. This is a very popular area. This part is kind of quiet and laid back, but as we get further down this way, we will get closer to Nakameguro station, where there's lots of restaurants. And yeah, you can hear the cicadas in full force, right? That's the sound of Japanese summer. Oh, he's in Asagaya. Asagaya is pretty far from here, so I don't think he will be able to come join me. My walk is relaxing. That's good to hear. Yeah, I want my walks to be relaxing. I want to be relaxed myself when I walk, and I hope that that transfers to the entire ambience of my streams. Yes, we will pass that big Starbucks, which when it opened was the biggest one in the world, but now it's apparently not, but I think it's still probably the biggest one in Tokyo at least. Down there, that building you see there, that's the Nakameguro station, so that will be our kind of first waypoint during this walk. Then after that, I'm not sure. I could either continue along the river towards Gotanda. Oh, let's cross here while it's green. This crossing is so boring. I don't want to have to wait here. So yeah, either head towards Gotanda along the river, or I could head up towards Daikanyama and to Shibuya. It's also an option. I think today's stream will be someone asking how long. I'm thinking probably until after sunset, so at least another hour and a half, something like that. But who knows, if my motivation is very high, I might make it even longer than that. How far is the typhoon from Japan? Oh, I don't know yet. I don't know exactly where it is right now, but I think it's somewhere in the waters southeast of here. Usually most typhoons seem to come like from your Okinawa direction, but this typhoon comes more like from the east, which is kind of unusual, I guess. But I must say I'm so happy that I got my second shot. It feels so good to be fully vaccinated, even though technically I know that it's another 2 weeks until I'm technically fully vaccinated and fully protected. But yeah, it just feels really good to know that my body is now currently taking care of creating antibodies and whatnot to protect me from COVID. So that's a big relief. Yes, my wife also got her second shot. She's also fine so far. She got her shot today, actually. But she had a bit of pain after her first shot, and she said second shot, the shot itself was much easier this time. And so far, no issues. But usually the side effects comes after like half a day or so. So I hope she will be fine tonight. +300 people watching now. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are new to my channel, please read the FAQ in the video description, where you will find answers to a lot of commonly asked questions. What else? Yeah, I do streams like this quite often, almost every day. So if you enjoy going on walks with me, you should definitely consider subscribing. If you really like it, you can join me on Patreon and get access to some bonus perks. The link is in the video description. So here's the once upon a time world's largest Starbucks. I passed here, I don't know how many dozens of times during my year-long streaming. But okay, Tony, thanks for saying hi anyway. And next to this Starbucks, there's a Don Quixote branch. Oh yeah, that's right. I think last time I passed here it was closed, right? A bit surprisingly. But yeah, today it's open, certainly. So, I think I should cross this bridge and walk on the other side. And yeah, for those of you who don't know this area, it's one of the most popular cherry blossom spots, or cherry blossom viewing spots in central Tokyo, because all these trees here along the river are cherry blossom trees. So it's very, very beautiful here during the cherry blossom season. It's quite nice this time of the year as well, but yeah, especially during cherry blossom season, it's quite spectacular, but also usually extremely crowded, which I don't like so much. Yeah, we walked here many times before. If you're familiar with my channel or has been watching for a while, you have most likely seen this place. It's relatively close to where I live, so it's one of those areas that I do come back to again and again. And it's also a very nice area to walk, so. A little bit further. Thank you, Mr. Miyazaki, and thank you for the emails. I'm so sorry, I'm horribly bad at responding to emails, especially the last couple of days has been very busy here, so sorry about that. But thank you for the kind word. Is Biosebon shop near Meguro River? Yeah, there's one of those down here. That's like a organic supermarket chain, which my wife is very fond of. Yeah, this area is quite popular to live, especially among kind of expats and non-Japanese people in Tokyo. They often, I met a lot of people who've been living around here, but I think it's quite expensive here, because it's kind of has this local vibe and lots of great shops and restaurants, but it's also very close. Like basically you can just walk to Shibuya. You might do that today actually. It's just like 15-20 minutes this way. Also Ebisu is another popular neighborhood which is also close to here, like and Daikayama. And sorry, there's already close to 400 people watching. That's great, but the downside to that is that the chat tends to get quite busy, and it's easy for me to miss both messages and super chats. So apologies in advance. What burger did you get for lunch the other day? Before the shot, I actually ended up getting just some onigiri. I went to stand in line at Freshness Burger, but they were so slow. And then I realized, I really don't have time for this. So I just quickly bought 2 onigiri and a big bottle of Pocari Sweat, and ate and drank that really quickly before I got the shot. So yeah. And since I got vaccinated yesterday, there's not gonna be any beer break today, because beer is not really recommended just after or alcohol is best avoided after getting the shot, they say. So what kind of onigiri? What kind did I get? I got I think I got one of these grilled salmon onigiri, and then the other one I don't remember. I was so much in a rush that I just picked something. I would love to have a beer tonight though. It's a really nice evening and it is a bit warm, so it would be nice, but yeah, better not. I have a bottle of tea with me. This one. My wife gave it to me just as I was about to leave the house and said, "It's dangerous to go alone. Please take this." No, she didn't say that. That was a video game reference. She just said, make sure to stay hydrated. We might need an ice cream break. Yeah, that's something that could definitely happen. I think last time I came here, I actually had a coffee here, this little place, which is a nice little coffee shop. But also, I generally prefer not to drink coffee in the evenings because I do have sleeping issues from time to time, and generally I feel that coffee too late makes that worse. Thank you, Jenny. Fresh chilled orange juice funds. Thank you very much. That sounds good too. Sounds good. Expensive coffee. Yeah, I think pretty much everything is expensive around here. Let's see, what else are you saying? Didn't you plan to flee to Sweden? Yes, I actually have a ticket for a flight to Sweden next Sunday. I'm still not 100% if I will actually go or not. I might have to delay that trip a little bit. We'll see. We'll see. There's a lot of things going on right now, so what's the best way to meet new people in Japan? I don't know. I would probably say alcohol. Go out and drink. That tends to be when people are the most social. That's how I made most of my friends when I first came here. I was out a lot. Is there a direct flight from Japan to Sweden? No, there's not. There was supposed to be one starting last year, just by the time the pandemic hit, but yeah, because of the pandemic it got postponed. I wonder what people are filming here. What's going on? I don't know if you can see it. Can you see? There's a snake in the tree. Does anyone know if this guy is friend or foe? I'll get some photos of it. Yeah, this is the second snake I see in like, what, a week, two? I guess it's fine. I guess it's not harmful or dangerous or anything. But I'm not gonna go and... Oh, cacao bar. Is this place new? Hotel Chocolat. Nice. Never seen it before. I dare you to touch it. I'm not gonna touch it. I'm not gonna touch it. I don't have the courage for that. Trees are scary. Oh yeah, because there can be snakes in them. Are the cicadas annoying at nighttime? Not for me, not where I live, but they can be. Yeah, before, like many years ago, when I was living in a smaller house on the low floor, then they were really annoying. Especially sometimes they were like on the balcony just in front of my room. Then they're really loud actually. So that can be annoying. But yeah, now we live on a pretty high floor, so we don't have any cicadas near our bedroom, thank God. Where's your location? So now I'm very close to Nakameguro station. Nakameguro station is just down here. and I'm thinking about probably heading up this way. And instead, I usually when I walk around here I tend to walk through Daikanyama, but I think today I will take a different route and head towards Ebisu instead. For those of you who are familiar with Tokyo, you probably know Ebisu. It's one stop from Shibuya, and it's a quite popular neighborhood. So yeah, that will be my next waypoint today. We've been walking for half an hour so far, and sun, because I want to get to a little bit higher ground, because down here along the river it's just shade everywhere, but actually the sunsets, the sun is pretty nice, or the sunlight. So maybe if I head up here we can get a better view of the sunsets. Yes, Nakameguro. So Tokyo-Toyoko line is Tokyo-Toyoko line is passing by here. That's right. Cool musical jingles on this train line. Not sure. I don't really use the Toyoko line very often myself, to be honest. I don't know, I don't think it even has jingles. Like JR does, and Tokyo Metro does. But I don't think Tokyo has jingles on their stations. I don't think they have, but it's funny, I live on one of the Tokyo lines, but I can't say for sure if they have jingles or not. Maybe someone can correct me in the chat. But it's not something that all train lines have. So if I turn left here, I will head towards Daikanyama. But yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Instead, I will head towards Ebisu, which is down here. Now, those kind of like everyday things, small details like that, after living here for a while, you kind of stop taking notice of them. So yeah. Triangle building I came here a few days ago. Did I? No, I don't think so. Not a few days ago, maybe a few weeks ago. But I haven't been here that recently. Yeah, there's no station jingles in Sweden either. I remember there was some in Germany. Maybe not on the subway, but on the regional trains. There was, I think there were jingles. Let's see, will this ever turn green? Kabutomushi. This guy wants, I don't know what these insects are called in English. In Japanese it's kabutomushi. And he wants them. That's interesting. Beetle, yeah, they're a kind of beetle, I guess. Rhino beetle, yeah, beetle is more like that's a group of species, right? But yeah, no need to nitpick the words, but some sort of beetle anyway. Rhino beetle, someone says. That sounds like it could be the right English name, actually, just judging from the look of them. Ah, there we have it. I love how you people in the chat always manages to figure out the answers to questions that I don't know myself. It's currently 6 o'clock or 20 past 6, and sunset this time of the year is actually at 7. So we still have a bit of sunlight left today. Can someone figure out the answer to getting T 1 million subs in chat? Yeah, that would be great. If you guys could figure that out, I would be very grateful. Ambulance. Snake bit someone. Yeah, maybe that's why the ambulance was passing here. It was going the wrong direction though. I have a question. Okay, shoot. Let me hear your question. Are there still bike gangs in Japan? Yes, there are. There are. They can be very, very loud and obnoxious. I think we talked about them on another stream not too long ago. But yeah, they seem to enjoy riding around on their noisy bikes at night, waking entire neighborhoods. So unfortunately, yes, there are still people doing that. Fortunately, I don't live that close to any big roads, so I don't think I've ever been woken up by them, but yeah, they're really annoying. We're getting closer and closer to Ebisu. I think we just have one block left and we will be at Ebisu station. So then from there I'll probably start walking towards Shibuya. How expensive is it to live in Japan? That's a question I get asked very often, and it varies a lot. It depends on your lifestyle and your expected level of comfort. But yeah, it's not as expensive as most people seem to think. You can survive in Tokyo for relatively small amounts of money, I would say. If you compare to other big cities like New York or London, I think Tokyo is cheaper. And of course, if you're looking at other parts of Japan, not Tokyo, then it's much cheaper as well. So people are living on everything from 200,000 yen per month to 2 million yen per month. It really depends on your standards. The Olympics a big hype in Tokyo? No, it's not. No one cares. It feels like no one cares. Everything is going on as usual, and most people are against the Olympics. So I hardly have seen. I don't think I've met anyone myself who is like excited about it. Everybody's just grumpy about it. If I'm not a drinker, is it easy to make friends in Japan? I think so, but I think that's more up to your own social skills. But people here are generally very friendly, and as long as you can find like a kind of natural environment to meet like-minded people, you should be fine. How do you feel today? I feel good. A bit of a sore arm, but that's like same as after the first shot. And a very, very light headache maybe, but I don't know if that's because of the shot. But it's really like, yeah, very, very light, so not a big problem. So here's Ebisu station. Here's the subway station. And down there you have the JR station. So from here I will turn this way, which will take us towards Shibuya. How much different is Tokyo's atmosphere with and without tourists? It's quite different. Yeah, it's very different, I would say, these last couple of years. In a way, if I'm just super egoistic about it and not taking into account the financial damage I'm suffering, I actually think it's kind of nice, because before the pandemic, many parts of Tokyo were just too crowded. There was like too many people, too many tourists, especially in places like Asakusa and Ginza. Now it feels like the amount of people is more like, I don't know, appropriate. But of course, I mean, I used to make a big part of my income from photographing people visiting Tokyo, and obviously that part of my business is completely stopped right now, and there's been a lot of bankruptcies. I'm still kind of lucky because I've had other work, but a lot of businesses have closed. The other day when we passed Akihabara, even a place like Akihabara, it was very obvious. So many business closure. So yeah, in that sense it's kind of sad to see all those like signs that shop for rent and things like that. So So yeah, it's you know, it's a different city in a way, and yeah, I mean, I can't wait for things to be back to normal again, especially because I just miss doing like photography or like portrait photography, which I used to do, and also like private tours and stuff like that. So I'm really, it's been kind of a nice break, but now I really wish that things could be back to normal again soon. American tourists, can't say we notice American tourists very much. I feel that Americans are still a relatively minor tourist group here in Japan, actually. Oh, thank you, Dan Chemistry, for the Arvo beer. What's Arvo beer? Sorry, I don't know what that means. But thanks for the super chat. Why are they worried about so few cases per day? Well, everything is relative, and I don't think it's the number itself that worries people here. I think it's more the fact that it's increasing, and it's increasing pretty quickly. But in general, I try to not talk too much about COVID on my channel. So let's stay away from that subject for now. Okay, afternoon beer. I see. Thank you. I wish, but yeah, since I got my shot yesterday, I will not have a beer today. But I will have a sip of my Sokenbicha. Are there many Australians around these days? No tourists are allowed into Japan. So no tourists from Australia, but there's a chunk of Australians living here permanently, so they are of course still here, but yes, Mia, I agree. It's a very nice tea, this. I don't even know what it's kind of mugi cha, but not just mugi, right? It's 28 something blended, so a lot of stuff, but no caffeine. It's a very nice drink, I agree. It's very light and refreshing. What do you think about novels? I unfortunately don't read much these days. Wish I had more time for that, but I don't. $500 viewers now. Thank you so much, my 500 friends. If you could choose freely, do you prefer landed house or apartment? Apartments. At least here in Japan. I would not want to own a house here. We talked about that many times here on this channel too, but generally houses here in Japan loses their value very quickly. The quality of the houses is generally quite poor unless you spend a fortune. And yeah, if you're living in Tokyo, there's no way, like for me the biggest advantage with having my own house would be to have a garden and my own private green space, but good luck doing that in Tokyo without being a billionaire. So yeah. But in general, I think I'm an apartment guy. Having a house seems to be a lot of work, which I'm sure is fun, but yeah, it's not for me, not right now. Coffee Person's truck area was nice the other day. Yes, it's always nice. That part of town is always a joy to visit. That's Shibuya down there. Oh, lots of buses here. Nice. What's the big tower? I think this is, I don't know, is it a garbage burning plant? Can someone look it up for me? It's basically along the train tracks of the Yamanote line between Ebisu and Shibuya. Yes, Yamanote line is here. The train that just passed was the Yamanote line train. Thank you, Indy Ferne. Thank you very much for the super chat. It's very kind of you. For the motivational boost. A lot of funds now, really? Sorry, in that case maybe I missed some super chats, because I feel there hasn't been that many today. But thank you very much to those of you who did support. How much does a person on average earn in Tokyo? Around 5 million yen? Oh, did I forget to pass when it turned green? Sorry, I was reading the chat. Yeah, I think in Tokyo 5 million yen is probably kind of a somewhat average yearly salary. Yeah. But it really depends, you know, if you're talking to the rich expat crowd, then a lot of them would you know, they would laugh at a salary like that. But if you're talking to, you know, a lot of the part-time employees and people who are struggling to find like a long-term stable job, then I'm sure many of them would be very happy with 5 million a year. So yeah, it really depends on your perspective. But I think the average salary in I'm not sure if it's in Japan or in Tokyo, but I think it's 4-point-something million yen. So yeah, not an awful lot, but I think an annual salary of 5 million yen, you can have a decent life with that if you're just living on your own. If you're trying to support a family and you want a nice spacious place to live, then it might be a bit trickier. Okay, so yeah, this was a inseration. I can't pronounce that word, but yeah, basically a place where they burn things. Do you think fully vaccinated tourists will be allowed to enter Japan in 2022? I think that might be possible, yes. I think so, but it really depends. You know, things might get worse again. In that case, maybe not. Where is everyone? Well, this is a very quiet kind of backstreet area. Just wait another 5 minutes and I will be in the heart of Shibuya, and then then you won't ask that question. Reflection reveal, haha, happens all the time. Happens all the time. Oh, interesting. There's a Nippon Photography Institute, Japan Photography Institute. I don't think I've ever heard of that place, actually. Is it a school? Go to the kebab place in Shibuya. I might pass there, but it's on that main street where they often play copyrighted music, so maybe not. We'll see. We are approaching Shibuya Stream, but from the like backside. I often pass that building, but then I usually come from Shibuya Station side. Now it's quite a different view. Yeah, I think there's a few apartments around here. Most of it is probably office space, but there's definitely a few apartment buildings squeezed in here, as well as like those, for example, here. That's someone's home. They literally live like 5 minutes walk from Shibuya Crossing. Quite convenient, at least if you're someone who enjoys Shibuya Crossing. Here's an entrance to Shibuya Station. A very, very quiet entrance. One that I think I've used one time in my entire life. I was going to do a photo shoot at an office in one of these buildings. That was the time when I realized that this exit even was there. Must be noisy next to the train tracks. Yeah, I think so. I think so too. Because the good thing about living next to the train tracks, or like not a good thing, but at least the trains aren't running all night. They are, so it's quiet at least between, I don't know, 1 o'clock and 5 o'clock. So here's this nice little river. Okay, Steven, good for you. And again, to those of you who are new to the channel or watching for the first time, please read the FAQ in the video description for answers to common questions such as where I'm from and what I'm doing in Japan and so on. I think we can cross here. Oh, map here. Let's do a little map update then. So, we are here. We came from down here. That's Ebisu station, this way. So now let's, I don't know, wander around a little bit in the Shibuya area. I will stream a little bit longer, we'll see. We'll see how my motivation is. This is a kind of unique designer's cone, Ray. Good one. What's for dinner? My wife is cooking tonight. I'm not really sure what she has in store for me after this stream, but I'm sure it's gonna be delicious. Look at these. There's a disco going on here. Lemonade swing. The map is difficult for me because the north direction is not up. Yeah, I agree. It's a good point. Mikael! Du har bokat en resa till Japan. Grattis! Jag hann inte läsa hela ditt meddelande. Vänta lite. So let me just check the chat again. Okej, Mikael. Grymt. Du är mycket för oss som ring och fotografera. Roligt. Hojta gärna när du är på väg hit. Alltid trevligt att möta upp andra svenskar, speciellt folk som är med samma intressen som mig. Reflection reveal. Yeah, were we lagging? Yeah, looks like we have a bit of a decrease in the bit rates. Always a joy to see the architecture here. So down here is Ebisu, that's where we came from. Some really nice colors in the sky right now. How long are school holidays in Japan? Oh, I don't know. I have no idea, to be honest. Since I've never been, well, I've been to language school here, but that's about it. So I don't know how it is in the public schools. Shikatetsu, yeah, that's the word for subway. Literally it means underground iron, which is kind of an interesting word. Would not get bored in Japan. Yeah, I think it's relatively difficult to get bored in Japan, at least compared to Sweden. But once you live here long enough, you know, it all gets kind of normal. And I certainly have boring days here as well. But I think they're less frequent now compared to what they were when I was living in Sweden. Yes, we've been here many times on my streams. So sorry about that. Then again, Shibuya and Tokyo is always changing, so who knows, maybe a couple of years from now it will be very interesting to go back to all these videos and see how it has changed over time. Maybe just comparing like my first stream from Shibuya with today's Shibuya, and I'm sure you can spot some differences as well. But also one of the reasons why I come here so often is for logistical reasons. It's very easy for me to get to and from Shibuya compared to many other parts of central Tokyo. How busy are Sundays in Tokyo? You will soon find out. Oh, so many police out today. Let's see if they stop me. So... oh, I didn't know there was a bus to Gotanda from here. Here's the Ginza Line station. Ginza Line Shibuya station. But yeah, it's almost 7 o'clock, which means it's almost sunset. So this is my favorite time of the day, when the city transformed from the daylight version to the night version, because I think Tokyo is definitely more beautiful and more interesting at night. Olympic gold for walking goes to TE. Haha, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I wish I could compete in Olympic walking. Actually, let me cross here. Let's head down to Miyashita Park again. I think Miyashita Park will be very nice this time of the day. So let's head down there. Then I will walk to the crossing a little bit later. Maybe end the stream in Shibuya Crossing. Sega high-tech land. Nice. This old arcade is still going strong. That's good to see. Many arcades have closed in the last year, also due to the pandemic. Go! Tokyo 2020! Yeah, I think the arcades have been struggling for quite some time, but especially now with the pandemic, it just got even worse. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. I think Japan is one of the few countries where there's still like a vibrant arcade gaming scene. Yeah, karaoke shops are probably struggling as well. But this stream isn't struggling. We just passed 600 viewers. Wow, thank you very much for joining. Thank you so much for joining. If you're new to this channel, first of all, welcome and thank you for stopping by. I do walks like this almost every day. So if that's your thing, you should maybe consider subscribing. Also, there's a chat which you are very welcome to join and socialize in. But before you do so, please read the FAQ, which is linked in the video description. What else? Yeah, I think that's all. Oh, and if you are watching this and you haven't liked the video yet, please consider doing so. It's a very easy way for you to support me and my channel. Yeah, doing that would be highly appreciated. If you really love my channel, you can join me on Patreon. That will give you access to Patreon only streams and some other goodies. The link to my Patreon is also in the video description. This is also one of my favorite photo spots here in Shibuya. I've been coming here for a long time, so I remember when this was still just a construction site. Both these buildings was just like big towers with some cranes on top, but now it's finished. And if we continue this way, we will eventually get to Harajuku area, but I don't think I will do that today. Instead, let's go upstairs. Let's go to the park here. I think especially on at this time of the day, it's very nice up here. Oh, and here's this nice little street here with lots of restaurants and bars. I'll probably pass here as well soon after checking out the rooftop. Let's see. This place is always very confusing for me. I'm always struggling to find where you can actually get up to the roof. It's pretty quiet for a Sunday. Definitely. There's definitely less people out and about compared to before the pandemic still, which isn't a surprise, of course. I think we can go upstairs down here. But this place is pretty crowded though. Food courts. That's a bit too crowded for my comfort zone. Yeah, this would be a perfect space for a beer. It would, but I won't. Okay, so up here it's a bit crowded. Not horribly so, but there's quite a lot of people here. Tower Records, yeah, Tower Records is still around. I'm not sure if there's many other places in the world that has Tower Records around still, but here it's, yeah. I think Japan is one of the few countries where people still buy CDs, which is quite interesting. Crowded, but not overly crowded. Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's not so bad. And also the lawns are shut off. Like you're not allowed to sit on the grass now. Usually it's okay, but that's also probably because of the pandemic. Just noticed that many places are not wheelchair friendly. Yeah, that's right. I mean, that's relative as well, I guess, but as a Swede, I don't feel that Japan is very wheelchair accessible, but I remember last time I said that, someone commented in the chat that compared to their home country, I forgot where that was, but compared to their home country, it's quite wheelchair friendly. So yeah, it really depends where you're from, I guess. There's usually elevators, but I mean now as a father, I often go out with my daughter, right? And she's in a stroller, so you can usually find ways to get where you want to go, but sometimes it's a little bit convoluted and complicated. But I guess that's true pretty much everywhere. Like here, for example, there's an elevator down here, so you could, come up here from ground level. As well. Let's go down here. This is a nice view of the Shibuya station area. Is the basketball court still there? Don't know. I remember, yeah, it used to be, they used to have a basketball court, but maybe not anymore. Might be gone now, I'm not sure though. 650 viewers, great, welcome, thank you. So, this view never gets old. So, Shibuya Station or Shibuya Crossing is down here, down there. This is Shibuya Station, the JR platform, the Yamanote line. Here's the old drinking alley, what remains of it. Not Omoide Yokocho, what's it called again? Nonbei Yokocho. Here. But yeah, this area has changed quite a lot. So here's a Yamanote line train passing by, bound for Shinjuku. Yeah, I think you can see the color changing on the wall. That's the colors from the screen in front of Shibuya Crossing. Hand reveal, yes. Is the live ending soon? Maybe. I'm not sure. If there's a little bit of motivational super chats, I might be going on for a little bit longer. But so far, super chats has been so-so tonight. So that unfortunately has a negative impact on my motivation. Let's change camera though. Let's do a little bit of chest reveal. Now as it gets darker, I prefer to use the... There we go. Now we're using the main camera, which is better for low light. You got a bit of a man boob reveal as well. You like Nagoya? I've actually never been to Nagoya. It's one of the few major cities in Japan where I haven't been, which is kind of weird, I guess, considering that it is, after all, a pretty big city. But can we go down here? Maybe not. I think I have to pass through here. Or I can actually, no, I know. Let's go this way. Choco-chan, arigatou gozaimasu. Arigatou gozaimasu. Roy as well. I twisted your arm. Good. Thank you. Thanks for that. Thanks for that. Okay, my motivation is slowly building up now. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Hej Shibuyaki. Hej hej, roligt att du är här. Nagoya is a beautiful city. Oh yeah? Is that so? To me, like, it's weird. I don't really have any impression of Nagoya. It's a very anonymous place, considering that it is such a big city. But like, I very rarely hear about it. I very rarely meet people from Nagoya. Takashi-san, arigatou gozaimasu. Motivation, arigatou gozaimasu. But yeah, I guess I should go to Nagoya at some point. David, does YouTube pay reasonable after the videos? No, not really. I'm very much dependent on super chats and my Patreon supporters in order to keep this channel running. The money that I get from YouTube is very small, and it would not be possible for me to go out and stream this often if I just had that. Because then I would have to spend my time in more lucrative ways. But yeah, thanks to my supporters, thanks to my Patreon especially. I mean, it's okay. I feel that it's worth the time I'm investing in my channel. But of course, I wish that it was more. I wish that I could, consider this a full-time job, but I'm not there yet. Thank you, Logically, for the super chat. Thank you very much. Also, David, I do sometimes reveal more exact numbers to my Patreon followers in my Patreon only streams. So if you're really curious, then yeah, there's a way to find out. Thank you, Zed Caliber. Thank you very much. Given enough entertainment to justify some motivation. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's very kind of you. And also Shin Nian Cho. Thank you. Thank you so much. Motivation boost up. Arigato, Takashi-san. Have you been to Toyama? I have been to Toyama, yes, but very briefly. I went to a factory in rural Toyama for work, and then I stayed at onsen. I think it was an onsen, or just an onsen, I don't know, a nice kind of Japanese style hotel in a small kind of village in the mountains. It was nice, but haven't really been to Toyama City much. This seems like a good place for thumbnail photo. Thanks for that. Yes, it is. I will indeed grab a snap here. Live stream looks so sharp. Thank you, George. And thank you, Mia Colin, motivation booster. Thank you so much. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Thank you. You consider YouTube videos a hobby or career? A hobby. simply based on the fact that it's not my main source of income, and also because I didn't really start this channel in order to make it a main job, but it has grown, and now it's actually getting bigger and bigger, and I'm enjoying that a lot, and I'm also enjoying making these walks and live streams, and I have some plans on more ambitious projects that I would like to realize. So who knows, maybe sometime in the future it will be, but for now it's mainly a hobby. But I am, of course, very, very happy that it's at least, yeah, that it feels like I get something in return for all these hours and hours that I pour into this channel. Thank you, Man Wong. Motivation is coming. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Do the movie Lost in Translation represent the Tokyo well? Difficult question. I think it manages to capture the atmosphere of being in Tokyo, and especially the atmosphere of being in Tokyo for the first time very well. Like the sense of confusion and amazement that I felt the first time I came here is actually quite accurately depicted in that movie, I think. But there's also some problems with it, because it does portray some Japanese people in a way that I don't really think is very accurate. So it's a difficult question. Oh, thank you, Mikael Lumos. Tack så mycket. Tusen tack. So yeah, it's a difficult question, but I think in terms of capturing the atmosphere of Tokyo, I think it did a good job. Someone asked I should approach NHK for a job. I've actually worked with NHK a couple of times. That's also something that my Patreon followers know more about. I've actually shared a video with them of a documentary that I hosted on NHK last summer. Yeah, I worked for them, but I really don't... I wouldn't say I dislike it, but I prefer to work for myself rather than others. And I prefer to do things my way. You know, if I could choose between working for NHK full-time or running this YouTube channel full-time, I would prefer to work for myself. But I do hope that I'll get the chance to work for NHK again, though. It's always been fun and interesting experience. Do the Godzilla movies represent Tokyo well? I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to respond to that. No, I don't think so. I don't think the city generally gets attacked by giant monsters. Doesn't happen very often, so I think that's a bit of a over exaggeration. NHK is asking independent creators to work for them sometimes. Yeah. Or I don't know if it's independent creators. The reason why they approached me is more that for all the other work I do related to Japanese tourism, and also as a photographer. So that's the reason. They didn't even know about my YouTube channel, so that had nothing to do with it. see, it's currently 7:30, 7:15. So yeah, I think I'll keep on walking around Shibuya for a little bit longer. Especially now, this is actually my favorite. I think I've said that like 5 times this stream, that this is my favorite time of the day. So I guess I have many favorite times of the day. But this time when the sky is still a bit blue and all the lights are on, that's certainly one of them. Let me cross here. Yeah, thanks to all these motivational boosts, I feel that I should keep on going for a little bit longer. Would you want your kid to grow up in Japan or go to a Japanese school? No, we talked about that many times, and we are planning to move to Scandinavia within a couple of years, mainly because of her education. Oh, is this the kebab place, by the way, that someone mentioned? You wanted me to go? There's quite a few kebab shops here in Shibuya, actually. This place looks very nice. It's not open, but look at all these cassettes on the tape, on the wall. Cassette tapes. Pretty cool. So this block has lots of small, kind of interesting shops, including the bars up in this building. Quite interesting. It's actually one of my favorite kind of hidden pockets of Shibuya. Didn't have Mini Explorer, would you stay in Japan? I don't know. It really depends. Like, some days I really feel that I'm done with this country. After all, I've lived here for 13 years, so I feel that it's kind of time for something new. But then quite frequently I also have those days when I realize how much I really love living here and all the things that are possible thanks to the fact that I'm living here. So it's a difficult question, but I definitely think that having a child is kind of what tips that entire equation over in favor for Scandinavia. But that doesn't mean, I think Japan is a great place to raise a child as well in many, many ways. Especially the fact that it's so safe is really, really something. But unfortunately, I think that the education is better in Scandinavia, and that's a really, really important factor. Maybe not right now, but by the time she's old enough to begin to go to school, that obviously becomes very important. So yeah. And also I think what I want for my daughter is I want to give her the option of coming here when she gets older, just like I did. I was super excited about moving to Japan, and that was like a big dream and a goal for me for a long time. And I kind of want my daughter to have that, the possibility of feeling the same. But if she grows up here, then yeah. I don't know. I feel that Tokyo is probably more enjoyable if you come here because you want to come here and live here, rather than if you just grow up here and this is like the norm. So yeah, some very difficult questions as you hear. It's not easy. But Having a child isn't easy. This place is quite nice too. I haven't been here in a very long time. But it's one of the few like big places where you can sit outdoors in Tokyo. Which is always nice. Or in Shibuya, I mean. There's plenty of places in Tokyo where you can sit outside. But yeah. 700 plus people. Wow, that's a good number. That's a good number. Thank you all for tuning in. If you're new to this channel, you might want to know that I do streams like this almost every day, so consider subscribing. Also, there's an FAQ in the video description that I encourage you to read. For example, where are you from? That's one of the questions that I get asked probably 10 times every day when I'm streaming. So it's a little bit tiresome for my regular viewers to hear me answer the same questions again and again. That's why there's an FAQ. So please read that. And if you have any follow-up questions, I'm very happy to answer those. So I think I should head towards Shibuya Crossing now. Have you ever visited Finland? Yes, I have. Since I'm from Sweden, so I guess I answered that question, even though it's in the FAQ. I'm from Sweden, so Finland is very close. So I've been there. It's a very nice place. Have you been to Hong Kong? Yes, I have. I would love to go again. It's been over 10 years ago since I went to Hong Kong. And I really enjoyed it. And I would love to go again once you can travel normally again. I really enjoyed Hong Kong for photography. I mean, Tokyo is also a great photography city, but since I'm living here, Hong Kong is so different. And I really just... Looks like we're having a bit of signal issues here. Let's see, I hope it's not too severe. Do you have rights to vote as a foreigner in Japan? No. If you go back to Scandinavia, will you still do live streams? Yes, maybe, but I would probably not do them as frequently as now. Instead, I would probably focus on slightly different kind of videos. Sorry, there's a lot of people watching now and there's a lot of stuff going on in the chat, so there's really no way for me to answer all the questions. Yes, I'm very sad to see the issues, what's happening in Hong Kong right now. It's heartbreaking. Getting closer to Shibuya Crossing. What phone are you using right now? I'm using the Samsung S21 Ultra. It's been my default streaming phone for the last couple of months, and I'm pretty happy with it. Main pedestrian street here in Shibuya. Are you using Japanese social media? No, not really. I'm using Line, but not really often these days. But I do have a few friends that I mainly communicate with through Line. But that's all. Let's hope that this music won't get me into trouble. Oh, crossing is crowded. Crossing is crowded as always. Surprisingly crowded for a Sunday, actually. This place is so loud. But yeah, I think I will cross here, and then I will probably wave goodbye. Looks like Times Square. Well, I guess Shibuya Crossing is pretty much the Times Square of Tokyo. About opening the borders, I really don't know, unfortunately. I wish I knew, but I have no idea. Streaming tomorrow? Probably, yes. Tomorrow I'm hoping to do a morning stream. Morning meaning before lunch, Japan time. But yeah, thanks everybody. Hope you enjoyed this little walk. It was good. I enjoyed it for sure. But I always enjoy it. Let's wave goodbye at this iconic place. Okay. So yeah, tomorrow before noon Japan time I plan to start another stream, but as always I'm not promising anything. It's just my ambition. Okay, thank you so much. Bye bye. Hej då. Mata ne. Auf Wiedersehen.